So Watsy and Mark Rosewater have dropped the State of Design 2025 article. We did this last year, went through it, reviewed it with Emma and Kerry last year, but this year we are sans them. They're not dead. They just couldn't attend. So for those who don't know, every year Mark Rosewater, the head designer of Magic, dropped this big article that details kind of what they learned from the year. I find these super interesting from when the sets are coming out, they're like, this is the best thing ever. And then 6 months later, they're in an article, they're like, this was dog shit. And we didn't like it at all. So these are super interesting. We're going to kind of go through it like we did last year, pull out some key points, kind of give our thoughts. Some of this will actually feed into the end of year awards as well. But there's weird crossover. So there's already stuff that we talked about in the end of year awards. Because it covers kind of like the end of 2024 and the first half of 2025. So, like Mark says here, this column will cover Bloomburrow through to Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy. So, overall Magic design highlights. We did a good job.
Pat on the back, everybody.
Pat on the back. Obama medal. We did a good job at finding our roots, which is interesting. So they call out here, one of the big lessons of the prior Magic year was that Magic sets needed to feel a little more Magic-y. This year we did a good job of addressing that. Both Foundations and Tarkir Dragonstorm were lauded for how much they felt like sets of old. Diving into the qualities that are quintessentially Magic, it's important to show we haven't forgotten our roots and that in this era of Universes Beyond playing a larger role, Magic settings and more importantly, the essence of what makes the game special as a property continues to be imbued in its sets. I would say this is the most important thing that they have currently. It seems it's really interesting. I think and there's some Universes Beyond stuff that we'll get into at the end of this article, which is quite an interesting way that it's written. But I think it feels like Magic currently, from a Magic Twitter, Magic Reddit point of view, is very like 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Like it kind of feels like Foundations comes out and everyone's like, this is awesome. And then there's an Aether Drift and everyone's like, oh, I don't know. And then Final Fantasy happens. Everyone's like, this is great, but I can't get my hands on it. So there's like whilst I think the design element is overall good right now, I think there is, I don't know. I think like Magic as a whole is an interesting space. What did you think about Magic finding their roots this year?
Yeah, I do agree that Foundations was very good and did feel very Magic-y. Maybe that's just because they were all over the place with it and pulling in things from different planes and different eras of the story and things like that. And I'm sure, like Tarkir, you're the Tarkir guy. I'm sure. I've heard good stuff about it. I thought it was fine. But yeah, there were things this year that made it feel more Magic-y, and they're trying to cling on to that because of the Universes Beyond crowd with the pitchforks and the
retention play. There's some stuff in the Tarkir section that's incredibly interesting, as the stuff that I called out. So we'll get into that in a bit. We made new settings that felt deep and immersive. Another complaint we saw was that some of the sets felt too thin, especially sets introducing a new world or theme. Bloomburrow and Duskmourn House of Horror, while radically different in tone, both showed Magic's ability to create new things that still felt ingrained in the multiverse in an organic way. Yep. That's why we spoke about that. But we'll go to that bit. We also found some new things to do. Gifting, rooms, and start your engines were core elements of the sets that they appeared in. Each of those mechanics explored a new space, doing things we hadn't done before. Magic design should always use the tools in our toolbox while making new sets, but it's okay to make new tools as we need them. Yes, great. But rooms and start your engines especially were egregious with how much text was on these fucking cards. Yeah. Rooms and sideways cards, you always kind of get into that. That's just been a problem they've always had because it feels like you're putting more text in space that is smaller by, design, literal design. But like start your engines, was not only had a reminder card and a tracker, but those abilities were also quite chunky. And most of the normal printings obviously had the start your engines reminder text on as well.
Yeah, it felt like they were trying to do something new with like a dungeon type deal, but it had more to it than just venture into the dungeon, and it had more payoffs than dungeons typically did. So yeah.
Lessons. This is interesting. Magic is at its best when we recontextualize the tropes we're working with. Resonance is an important part of design. When we explore new themes, there are certain expectations that it's important for us to hit in our card designs, but we need to be careful that we're doing our take on the trope and not just reprinting it without any filter. Universes Beyond sets are where we should do straight illusions and not in multiverse sets. Both Duskmourn, House of Horror, and Aether suffer from being a bit too on the nose with some of our references. I think this is more a bleeding effect of Murder at Karlov Manor and Outlaws. Like, it's just like it's this set, everyone's wearing detective hats. It's this set, everyone's wearing cowboy hats. Like, it just feels like that kind of, oh, we're doing a racing set, we have to have a Mario Kart card.
Yeah,
we're doing a Duskmourn set, we have to have like all these 80s like slashers, like references and stuff. But I think there are, like they've said here, magic ways of doing those where it doesn't just feel like this is the parody. I think that when we're moving into parody, that's when it starts to lose its kind of worth. Because the Universe Beyond sets are 100% you should be doing like, you know, this is Desmond Miles. Right?
Yeah.
Like, this is what Desmond Miles would do as a card. I don't think we need to be doing, this is what Mario in a Mario Kart game would be doing on a card if it's not the Mario Kart secret lair or what, you know, whatever it may be.
I don't think like parody's that bad if it's just like a one-off card and it's not like super egregious. Like, I didn't think the Mario card in Aether Drift was that. Like,
it wasn't that bad. I think the issue is all this is death by 1,000 cuts, right? Like, every time they do it a little bit, it weakens the next time they're doing it, and you're just reducing that barrier of people's acceptance of it. Like the Amoongus card in Edge of Eternities. Yeah, people were just like, oh, because it had been a little while, and the whole set wasn't full of like Star Wars references and all this shit. People were actually okay with it. So it's interesting. And then we need to be better at supporting our themes downstream or designs. Each set wants to introduce new mechanical themes. Part of the fun of getting the latest set is exploring new possible decks. But while we're good at creating new places to explore, we need to be a little better at following up beyond that set. If you built an otter deck in Bloomborough or a vehicle deck in Aether Drift, for instance, future sets didn't add that much for you to expand the deck with. This kind of set over set mechanical cohesion is easier said than done, as there are a lot of new themes to follow up on. And each new set has limitations necessary for it to deliver its own themes, but it's something we should spend more time on. I disagree with him.
See, I don't know. I remember speaking a while back about how I was expecting Edge to have lots of vehicles in it because of like all the Aether Drift stuff, and I thought it was going to be like an overarching kind of, you know, theme of this block, you know? So, I'm going to guess he's talking about standard here, right?
Yeah. 100%. Because in Commander, I think it's different, where it's like, oh, I've built the Otter deck. Now, every time a set comes out, I'm doing a Scryfall search for, you know, set Otter or what have you. And I think that's fun when it's like, oh, I've got one or two things to like explore with, and my deck isn't changing that much, and it's kind of like slowly evolving over time and being power crept.
It probably is also. It could be talking about Commander for a new player. If you've come in at Bloomborough and you've gone, oh, I want to make an Otter deck, and you've somehow built an Otter Commander deck, and you're going to want new toys to play with
straight away.
You're like fresh to
it.
I think,
that's interesting. This is all of this goes away when you go, we'll do it in block. We're going back to blocks. Because if you went back to blocks, none of this would be a fucking issue, because you would have your main set with like all the kind of like foundational, like this is what the mechanics do, this is what the types do, all this kind of stuff, and then, you know, the following sets after that expand on it and you know, draw it out. That was like why Feros was so good, right? Which is like the first set was the monocolor gods, and then this sets that followed it were like the multicolor gods or like different takes and stuff, and it was like that stuff is super interesting. But I think now that they're just like we're here for one set and then we get the fuck out, I think you lose a lot of that for sure. Yeah, and then we're going to get into Bloombo just in a second.
Yes, we're going to do the intro now. We're trying something new. So yeah, hi. Welcome back to the Magic Castles podcast, episode 36. Problem with this is I can't restart if I mess this up. I'm Rashad making over Fiend with an X, and this is Adam making Adam GCB. And we're going to dive straight back into today's main topic, which is the state of Magic.
So Bloomburrow highlights. The interconnection of world building, creative design, game design, and artwork was a home run. We spoke about this kind of at length at our end of year awards last year. Like I said, there's weird crossover because it's kind of the last half of last year and the first half of this year. So I don't think we need to get on this too much. But like, I think Bloomburrow was a fantastic Vorthos set for new players, right? Like, what is this? Like, oh, it's cute animals, and that kind of redwood, whatever it's called, like drawing people into that world was fantastic. The mechanical animal themes were beloved. The rabbits felt like rabbits and the frogs felt like frogs. Bloomburrow had to deliver animal resonance, and it did it in a big way. This might seem like an easy thing to do, but it's not. You see, typal themes are a thorn in the side of R&D. They're both widely popular and near impossible to do well. Constructed wants complete linearity in its typal themes, while limited requires interconnectivity between archetypes. For instance, you want your rabbit to reward you for playing other rabbits, while also being a card that players not playing rabbit typal will draft. Bloomburrow did our best job to date at towing this line. If you want to draft rabbits, you can. Mark Rosewater 2025. If you want to not draft a specific animal, you can. Having these two things coexist while still capturing the feel and set is a huge... Yeah, like, I think they did a lot with the... it's a rabbit, but it's also this, and like that crossover. It's very like when I saw a lot. I played a bit of Bloomburrow Limited, not a lot, but like it reminded me a lot of, obviously not in the same spirit, but like Ravnica, or like Ravnica, where you're like, ideally you want to be in one guild, but you're going to bleed into two. And then what is that supporting color look like, and how does it interact well with, your core guild? I think there's a lot of that in the Bloomburrow Limited environment. It doesn't play so well, obviously, in Commander. Like the people who are making these typal decks are just going Scryfall Search Rabbit and going all in on that, which is totally fine. But yeah, I think they overall. They did really well here. I do think Bloomburrow 2 when they they're going to go back. There's no reason not to. I think that will be like a top 5 set just based on the foundation that they've done here. I think, but if they fuck it up, it'll be a generational fumble. Like, so that's going to be super interesting. But I think from a whole, like this kind of mechanical animal type stuff is a really, really good foundation for things to come.
I kept reading it as mechanical animals, like robot animals. I was like, did I miss something?
The teddy bears, yeah.
But what if they do that? We get like how they went back to Kamigawa and it was all cyberpunk. We go back to Bloomburrow and it's all like Terminator, like Judgment Day. I
think this needs to be a plane that is like I'm so glad this was a plane that was done after All Will Be One, right? And like March of the Machine, where like I don't need to see Phyrexia invade, and also because I don't need to see like Fox or Brask. Like, so yeah, I think I'm glad that like this is kind of its own thing to the side of everything else that's going on, apart from obviously verification, Razarek.
Still sad that we didn't get Chatterfang on the plane, but
there's some weird omissions as well. Like it seems like a bit of a home run there. Lessons. There wasn't the right mix of animals. For some, 10 animals were too many, 10 different factions, each with their own animal, caused a complex web that was too hard to decipher. We should have just had 5 animal factions. For others, 10 animals weren't enough. The joy of an animal world is the variety of animals. Limiting each archetype to one animal was too limiting. A faction should have been about something that could group together numerous animals. While every animal had its fans, there was always an animal players. Oh, there was always an animal players would have preferred instead. Jesus Christ, that is not real. Some would have preferred badgers instead of raccoons, skunks instead of bats, or turtles instead of frogs. The list goes on and on. Some players felt we didn't need to have mice, rats, and squirrels. A big part of the success of Bloomburrow is the connection so many players have to animals, but the connections people have while strong are not consistent. I thought they had badgers. Or was that just like as a main?
There was a badger.
There was a badger. Okay.
Yeah.
Hugs, right?
Yeah, hugs. I think.
And hugs. Okay.
Yeah, maybe it was a couple.
I think
this is where they could in Bloomburrow too. They can have the animals band together into factions that are different animals in different factions. So they can fix that in the second one. I don't think it was a problem though.
Yeah, it's like the reverse of the original Tarkir, right? Like they lost a color when they went back in time, but now you can like band them together and have like more cohesion across the color pie. Yeah, I didn't think it was that much of a problem. I also thought there were cards that were like, here's a rat and a bat together.
There were the signpost cards,
so
which
that was already kind of touched on.
Yeah.
But
obviously you would have to get one of those in your pack to understand the.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was a problem.
And there was some disappointment with the mechanical execution of some of the animals. Birds,
this was so weird.
Yeah, birds which all flew in the set had a non-flying matters theme, which contradicted the desire for an all birds deck. We did it to make the bird draft archetype work, but it flew in the face of expectations for bird type or constructed decks. Otters weren't powerful enough and thus did not see constructed play. Mice were too powerful and did see constructed play, but now many players are sick of seeing them. They've been banned as of recording. The rats fell off to some and didn't play well with many rats of yesteryear. In general, everyone liked the broad strokes of what was going on in the set, but everyone had quibbles with some details. Yeah, the birds was really weird because it was like the whole point was they were effectively like the vehicles of the set, right? Like they were just like the carriers of the other guys. So that's weird, and it kind of just makes it so, I think flying masses / bird typal is becoming a deck archetype that we're seeing it's not like everywhere in Commander, but it's definitely, people want it to work a lot more than it does. So I think like they were expecting a lot of support here and then didn't get it.
Yeah, it's very weird choice.
Otters weren't powerful enough and thus didn't see constructed play. It's because they're fucking it. That's why. Like, it's not a problem with otters. It's a problem with the fact that it's blue-red. Apart from VV, when they broke it, that's what I try to say. Like, with Izzet, you got to be so... They typically don't push, right? Because it's the colors that, when they do push, breaks the entire format and needs emergency bans or, things around it. So that's why, and you're seeing that with the mice that have been banned in constructed play now.
I didn't think the rats were that bad. I think there's some good like sleeper hits in the rats that I think people are kind of cottoning onto now. From what I've seen online anyway, there's
I think it's probably more that this evolution of the rat mechanics doesn't play well with like the Kamigawa rats.
Yeah,
that's probably what it is.
Yeah,
beyond anything. And then too many of the animals we focus on don't have enough cards. Commander is both currently the most popular tabletop format and the most popular casual format, and animal theme is very appealing to casual players. Yep. But too many of the animals in Bloomburrow simply don't have enough cards to make a viable Commander deck. Some wish we had chosen animals with more backwards compatibility. Others wanted us to focus more on the ones that didn't have enough cards to allow us to make more. I mean, that is literally just like the thing we had last year was some players. It's like, you're just never going to make anyone happy.
It's that one guy who wants a mouse deck.
Yeah, creating new themes while also supporting 100 card singleton format is an ongoing challenge that we have to work through. Some of this can be handled over time if we repeat themes, but it's a long-term answer to a short-term problem. Do you know what would fix this, Tom? Fucking blocks where you have like again, when I was playing Commander like 2013, 2014, I was, and this was very much in the spirit of Commander when it was like you had the yearly Commander decks, but most of your Commander decks were just cards that you had. So it was like, this is my Xenagos God of Revels deck, and it's mainly cards from Feros block and some from the block surrounding it, but they all kind of talk to these themes. If you sit on a plane for 3 sets or even 2, like I know they had issues with the 2 set blocks, but like you supplement these themes so much more.
Yeah,
wild.
I was also thinking if they did do that, they go back to Bloomburrow 2, they have 5 groups, then you can have 5 precons, and that's the 5.
Yeah,
those people are happy. I'm sure that's what we'll get. But.
Duskmourn House of Horror, our winner for best set last year. I think it was.
We wanted it to be Assassin's Creed, but we
wanted it to be Assassin's Creed, but we feared the comments.
We feared the chat.
Yeah. Highlights. The overall feel of this plane was a big success. When we first announced the existence of Duskmourn House of Horror, there was a lot of worry about it. We already had a popular horror plane in Innistrad. What was Duskmourn going to offer that Innistrad didn't? It was also playing around with more modern tropes. Would that feel like Magic? There was a lot of skepticism, so we made the decision to release the Planeswalkers guide earlier than normal. That's interesting. To let players see our concept for a plane that was a haunted house and the evil being that created it. Players loved it, and it had its own distinct feel, yet felt like an organic part of the multiverse. There was one big exception to this, which I'll get into below. They talk about the mechanics leading to a fun limited format. I agree. This is the most limited I'd played in a really long time. Thought it was super interesting, super fun. It was very complicated, which I think they get into in a little bit as well. But for me, being a seasoned Magic player, that was fun. And I typically don't like limited that much. I like to play with my cards. So that was that. It was a good time. It was jarring after Bloomburrow, though, which felt so on rails. Like, I am doing this. And then Duskmourn was just like galaxy brain fucking limited, like, environment. Like, you were doing stuff that you felt like a genius. Felt like I was on a pro tour half the time I was playing Arena. The contrast to Bloomburrow showcased what makes Magic so great. Magic likes to push the pendulum, as I like to say. That is, we like to keep going to places we haven't just been. One of the exciting parts of being a trading game like Magic is our ability to be so many different things. Jesus, reading is hard. Part of expressing that is our constant change in worlds, but never before have we created a contrast so extreme as Bloomburrow into Duskmourn House of Horror, leading many to call it Gloomburrow. No one fucking did that, Mark. Who did that? Who did that? No one fucking did that. Many players leaned into this pretty stark shift with glee, and it led to a lot of fun community building. Many call this Magic's Barbenheimer moment. Yeah, like that. Yeah, but no one fucking called it Gloomburrow, Mark.
No one called it Gloomburrow. Who called it Gloomburrow?
No,
maybe everyone did, and it just wasn't us.
No, I never heard anyone call it Gloomburrow, because that doesn't even make sense. Because Gloom isn't in Duskmourn. Like, the reason Barbenheimer works is because it's Barbie Oppenheimer.
Yeah. Duskburrow surely is the...
Duskburrow, yeah.
Gloommourn, I
don't know. Whatever. Yeah, I think this was good. I do also... Part of me is like, was the shift too hard? And maybe there was a way of... Maybe there was a way of avoiding that harder shift. Like, if you got all these new players coming in and really enjoying Bloomburrow for how cute and fun it is, how do you extend that when chances are they're not going to play with all the fucking horrors that are in the Duskmourn set? Yeah. So that's interesting. I mean, did you hear or experience any, like, I'm really into Bloomburrow, I'm not into Duskmourn?
No, not really. Everybody I know kind of like both, but they were more into it mechanically rather than thematically.
thematically.
And it's a good PR thing, wasn't it, for them? They had the whole they really played into it a lot, which it's whatever. It's one of those things.
Lessons. The 80s horror theme was forced into the set in a way that was distracted from the overall vibe. There's a fine line between inspired by something and being a carbon copy of it. While the players mostly loved the haunted house vibe for the world, they were not happy with the allusions to popular horror movies that neither had a magic take on them nor felt like they fit in the larger feel of the plane. The harshest criticisms were for many of the survivors that felt out of place in the set, most of which were loudly alluding to specific 70s, 80s horror films. If we could go back, revising about 10 to 15 cards would have alleviated the major concern of the set for most players. Can you name me one of the survivors that wasn't like the Planeswalker group?
I thought it was just the Planeswalker group.
No, there were more.
The guy no. I can't.
That's like...
I'll be honest, I didn't read any of the story, so I can't, but...
Well, yeah, they were on cards as well, but I think it's like Rick something. Rick was like, it was like a green-white one.
Is it the guy in the white card who... it's the cards with the survivor mechanic, right? Is that...
Yeah, but there was a couple that were legendary.
Yeah. Rip.
Rip is
that's
the one.
Because I made the deck. That's...
But they're just so forgetful.
Yeah.
And then I think the non-legendary ones are bad as well. There's like the cheerleader. There's a white one that puts counters on it. I can't remember them.
I kind of disagree with this. I thought it was fine. Like they were doing something, they were trying something, and it was meant to be. It's no different to me than the cyberpunk of Kamigawa.
Yeah, revising 10 to 15 cards a lot.
Just Photoshop out the sneakers.
I think I would have rather had. I get why you need to have like Dentians, right, for a plane, because that's what makes it feel lived in and more fleshed out. But I really think I'd rather have had like less overall survivors, but all of them are like memorable legendary creatures, and then you have stuff like that comes down from them, because it kind of just felt like the 5 spot. I don't know, what do we call like X Planeswalk? The
hero characters, right?
Yeah, like the Omen Walkers stuff.
They're main characters.
Yeah, it felt like you had the main characters kind of doing their own thing, and then like legendary characters that didn't interact with them in any way, weren't part really of like the wider world or wider lore, and it just felt like legendary filler for the sake of it. And then I think all the non-legendary stuff, like you have to do, the set's a big set, but I think there are probably other ways of doing it. Players have some issues with one of the set's creative choices. This set consciously pushed into some space Magic has never gone before. Many were popular, but one area got the most criticism. Players, it seems, are not fans of what I'm going to call mundane modernity. Magic has had many sets such as Kamigawa Neon Dynasty and the Brothers War, which push into more of a science fiction feel with items far more technically advanced than one would normally find in a fantasy story. That doesn't generally bother many players. Some things Duskmourn House of Horror did for the first time bothered players, like having characters wearing and using things that we would actually use, things like sneakers or jeans or a baseball bat. Part of fantasy is the idea that you're coming to a world that is fundamentally different than your own. Fantasy wants to be inspirational, and seeing everyday objects, which are part of all our daily lives, deflates that. Yeah, like, whatever.
I don't think this is a big deal. It's like, it's still fantasy. It's like, it's like horror fantasy. It's not classic fantasy.
So
like Brothers War is like science fantasy. And
I wonder if,
to a degree.
I wonder if you leave this stuff in Universes Beyond sets where it's like Doctor Who, where they do use stuff that we use. I think maybe there was a lack, or there was like a lack of understanding, but maybe there was just like we've done it in Doctor Who and people didn't revolt, so if we did it here, it'd be okay. But the 2 previous baseball bats we've had have been named. Now we've got 3 baseball bats. So it's probably more, to be fair. So yeah, that's interesting. I think it's fine. I think maybe calling it baseball bat is the issue. Maybe if it was like
Slugger, something slugger.
Or like Glimmer Protector, or like whatever. I think maybe giving it more of an in-universe name and impact is probably the way to do that. I feel it's fine.
Yeah,
it's not like those cards are going to be played outside of like fringe situations, right? Like how many people are playing baseball bat? How many people are playing cup of noodles or cup of ramen or whatever it's called? Like I think this stuff doesn't actually have that big an impact on the wider scheme of things. This set had a little too much going on. The enchantment theme, rooms, manifest dread, eerie, the return of delirium, impending, glimmers, survival, overlords, and just the whole way it all interacted with a graveyard theme was a huge success, but it was also a lot. For some players, it was too much, and that is something we have to be careful with. Well, I'm not sure what exactly I'll take out if we're doing the set again. I'm pretty sure I take out at least one thing out, maybe two. Yeah, this is what I was talking about with the limited environment. There was just so many intricate parts to the set, which maybe Magic needs to bring back the whole like expert set sticker.
Oh yeah, I love
badge.
I used to love that
because
so much.
I think there's a place for sets like this. Like not every set, annoyingly, every set is going to be someone's first set. That's just the way that this game works. But there should be room for this stuff outside of Modern Horizons and like Masters sets, honestly.
It's like those Doctor Who precons, like we were talking on that stream when me was playing the Doctor Who precon. They're not beginner friendly.
No.
And we've had a number of precons this year that I wouldn't say have been particularly beginner friendly.
No.
And labeling them as maybe don't pick this up if you're a beginner might be good.
Yeah.
But again, this kind of relies on there being enough stock of, keeping enough stock of Bloomburrow so that people can still pick Bloomburrow up if they're new. Which would have been really good if they kept Bloomburrow around for longer, kept printing it so that the new players can carry on playing Bloomburrow while Duskmourn's out, confusing you with Eerie and Survival and all that.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the Glimmers do, I'll be honest. But yeah, there was a lot.
Glimmers was just 1/1 enchantment creatures, or Glimmer tokens, I think, which 1/1 enchantment creatures. They were just there to like trigger enchantment stuff. Yeah, and Eerie and stuff like that. I'm not going to get into Foundations too much because the feedback is like contradictory.
Foundations is good.
Foundations is good, and I'm glad they did it. And I think it's an interesting experiment. They're talking here about cards being legal for 5 years. We'll see, but I think we can do. A for Drift. Spoiler: this is probably worst at the year contender, but we'll see. Still lots of Magic to come out this year. Highlights for Avadrift. Players enjoyed having vehicles as a mechanical focus for a set. Kaladesh introduced vehicles as a new artifact subtype. We talked about wanting a way to represent vehicles for many years, and we finally found a set where it made sense. They were popular enough and captured some perfect flavor that vehicles did something that didn't happen often. It became immediately deciduous, almost evergreen. Deciduous. Jesus Christ. I came here to play Magic, not to read. Many sets these days include at least a vehicle, too, with the exception of the Kaladesh block. Vehicles have also played a supporting role in sets, so many players enjoyed getting to have a set where vehicles could shine. They also enjoyed Saddle, which brought the feel of vehicles to mounts. Saddle has been introduced in Outlaws of Fonda Junction, but Avadrift gave Saddle, mount, and vehicles a focus. I don't know. I'm not a vehicles guy. I never have been. I don't get it.
I like vehicles.
I only see vehicles as a cute way of being able to tap my creatures. That's kind of it. Like, I think the vehicles I do like are the ones where it's like, this thing is so like I don't like the vehicles where it's like it's a car. I like the vehicles where it's like, what's the backup commander from the Kamigawa precon?
Shurikai.
Like Shurikai, where it's like it's a fucking mech. Like that needs a pilot. Like those are the kind of ones I like.
Yeah.
I think those are really flavorful, but it's just like this guy's driving a boat. I'm like, it just doesn't do it for me. Mounts, however, like I think are interesting. I think there's some fun space there. I liked the way that they had in this set the rider and the mount like as like effectively as like partners without obviously having partner printed on it, but having like the knight with like the bat. I think that, and like they kind of synergize really well together. I thought it was really cute. That's the stuff I'd like to see more. Maybe if they get into that kind of stuff with vehicles, more down the road would be quite nice. More down the road, would be quite nice. Getting to see 3 different planes in one set was nice.
I scrolled down so I already know what's coming.
Averdrift was what we called a travelogue set, making use of the Omen Paths. We created an expansion that was set not on one world, but free. Many players enjoyed that it let us catch up with the planes of Avishkar and Amonkhet. There was a lot of world building done to show how the events of the Phyrexia invasion, among other incidents, reshaped these planes. Was there? Didn't feel like it. It also demonstrated how the existence of Omen Paths was impacting how the planes were evolving, interacting with one another. Players also enjoyed that we got to visit a new world, Moraganda, that we'd only seen glimpses of before. I've gotten a lot of requests for a new set that takes place exclusively on Moraganda. I mean, they get into lessons here actually on it, which is like, I'll show you this, then we can talk about it because these two things are kind of connected. So lessons, players preferred more emphasis on the planes and less on the race, which is a real fucking problem when your set's called Averdrift. Players like seeing the 3 planes. In fact, the biggest complaint regarding creative was that not enough time was spent focused on the planes themselves. So much of the set was focused on the race, and the majority of players seemed far less interested in the race than getting a chance to explore Avishkar, Amonkhet, and Moraganda. I think this was probably multiple things. One, they fucking spoiled who won the race before the set was even out, right? So like there was no, it was murders all over again. Like there was no, I really feel like the reveals of these sets should happen days after pre-release. Like let people open their cards and try to piece together the story.
Yeah. Give it a week to breathe at least.
And that is such a fun payoff if you're like really invested in the narrative element of this game, where you're like, oh, who murdered XYZ? And then you find out like opening your packs at pre-release. Like it's just such a nice touch.
Do they still have the story highlight cards? Or
yes, they still have story spotlight cards still exist.
Yeah, they still do that. Okay. So that would be great if you like,
imagine
story
like,
spotlight and you.
It's just so fun. Like being able to do like the idea of like really caring about a storyline, going to a pre-release, being hyped to be at the pre-release to play, and then having that additional element of like, oh, and I find out who did, who won this, who did that. I think it's just really clever. I just don't know why they do it every time. Because the worst part of murders, I know this is different, but murders, they were putting out all the marketing. I was like, who done it? And it's like, well, fucking here's the hyperlink to the story where it tells you who killed who. Like, so very strange on their part. I felt like in the nicest possible way, I feel like Amonkhet and Moraganda were done really dirty here. Avishkar, I think, it makes sense for it to be the kind of anchor of this race stuff. I also just don't know why they were racing around the planes. Like, they made it out like it was this thing that has existed for a while in the story, but it's like, okay, well, this must be like the expansion of like the race on Avishkar has always happened, but now it's folding in like, these other planes. It's
because they can, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. And then what it said to me was like, we're not going back to Amonkhet for a while, probably, right? If they're doing this here, Avishkar's probably not getting this is the state of like this plane and what's happening since like the rebellion and all this kind of stuff. And Maraganda's like probably never getting a fucking set. The whole point of Maraganda is like everything's a vanilla creature, so like I doubt we're getting a full set there. But yeah, and the race stuff I just thought was like, I don't know. I think it was worth trying. Right. I think it was like, because I remember me and you talk about it being like, I'm really, this could be like really cool. And I'm like really excited for it. And I'm just like, I like the art. Some of the art's like really good in this set. Yep. And some of the color pairings are really fun. But like, it's just,
it had so much potential that kind of didn't pay off in the end.
Yeah, it felt fumbled, honestly. Having 3 planes and 10 racing teams, many from other saying, spread things too thin. This issue was made worse by the fact there were so many cards were focused on the racers, many of which were from brand new sayings. 3 planes in one set was already stretching things a bit thin, so the addition of all the racing teams muddled things even more. Most players who commented on the race teams wished that we just had race teams from the 3 planes they were visiting. It would have made fucking loads of sense. Others said that if they had to be from other planes than the ones in the race, they should be from places we already knew. Yes. So there was less world building that had to go on the creative elements of those cards. Yeah, like the blue-white race team is like from a completely different plane that we've not visited yet. I do think there's something nice in teasing, like we might go here.
Yes. Yeah.
I think you do that once, right? Like it's like an Easter egg. I don't
think you can build it in that. You can start building it in that set as well. Then you can focus on that while the other.
But I don't think you need like 3 or 4 different teams from like sets from planes that we haven't seen yet. I do think Duskmourn was also done incredibly fucking dirty here. Like the whole point of Duskmourn is like it's this house you can't leave. Oh, here we go. Is there one here? I saw the word Duskmourn. Sorry, no. Okay, fine. The whole point of Duskmourn is there's this house that you can't leave, and you can only leave if like the house lets you, but like they don't let you because it makes sense for you to be in the house, etc., etc. And then like he's like, yeah, you can go fucking play Mario Kart. I don't care.
I'm just so mad we didn't get the rats from Kamigawa. There's literally a gang of rats who have jet bikes.
Yeah. Greasefang's crew should have been a team.
Yep,
that would have been sick. I get that whole thing with the Duskmourn thing is like they wanted Winter to win the Aether Spark to so Vorum Mothman, not the Mothman, Valgavoth could become a Planeswalker, and then like that's fucked up. That's also an incredibly fucking cool story.
Yeah.
And they were like, nah, Armacut wins, lol. Like, it makes no sense, like, at all. Like, if the whole idea is Chandra is trying to get Aether Spark to make Nissa a Planeswalker again, because, like, Chandra being able to Planeswalk and Nissa having to wait on Omen Pass is, like, not cool for their relationship and all this kind of stuff. That's really interesting, right? But then Valgavoth wanting to win so he can be an absolute bastard and travel the multiverse and, like, take over the multiverse in this, like, pseudo-invasion, like, angle would be really cool if you had Valgavoth win and then Chandra's pissed, right? That's really interesting story tension. And then like, nah, you know, Basri, who's had one fucking card and no one cares about, and Catman win next set.
Yeah, it did feel weird.
That would have been a good,
like setting up the villain of Valgavoth being like the overall villain for this like phase, whatever, you know, like that would have been so good.
Because the whole point of Valgavoth is you're meant to be happy that he's trapped in this house.
Yeah.
Like, this house is shit and horrible and this plane is disgusting and no one wants to be there. But thank God he can't leave. Like, that's the whole point of Valgavoth. Like, failing at the first hurdle is, like, not cool.
It's real, like, Dick Dastardly and Muttley vibes.
It's
like,
so, yeah. The racing theme in general wasn't well received. Aether Drift played into a lot of the criticism of last year's sets, where the set seemed more focused on specific tropes than bringing the world to life. While Duskmourn House of Horror had some complaints about the survivors and some individual card concepts, the general sense was that the plane still had a lot of space to shine. Aether Drift was mostly about a race that not enough players cared about. There were a number of players, though, that enjoyed seeing Chandra in this story get more focus. Yeah, sure. Like, again, we spoke about this, so it's fine. There's some stuff about Constructed. Dragonstorm. This is super interesting stuff in here, actually. I'm probably going to go straight to lessons. Players really wish we found a way to get the Dragon Lords into the set. When we last left Tarkir, there were Dragon Lords ruling over ally-colored factions. Upon our return, we fast-forwarded the story to get to the three-color clans. A lot of players were sad that we breezed by the story of how two-color clans became three-color clans. How exactly did the Dragon Lords fall? Because the set was focused on wedges and the Dragon Lords were ally-colored creatures, a misfit for a wedge set. There wasn't a good home for them. This upset a lot of players that really wanted us to find a place for them in the set. I'm not sure there's a good answer. I have one for this one, but I want to acknowledge that this was by far the number one complaint I got about the set. The fact that we repeated the clan leaders and spirit dragons in the commander decks only reinforced the idea for many that there must have been a way to fit Dragon Lords in. Blocks. Have a block. First block, Dragon Lord War, whatever you want to fucking call it. Yeah. But like that can be your, the actual Dragonstorm of, the Spirit Dragons defeating the Dragon Lords. Or if you want to have a free set, you could even have a free set block where you're like, this is the current state of the world. Your middle set is like, this is the thing that changes the status quo of the world. And then your your third set is, and now this is where, we're leaving Tarkir. Like,
I have a proposition for you as a Tarkir fan.
Yeah.
What would you have thought if they had done an Aftermath style prelude set of the Dragon Lords?
Fine.
And then the main set.
Fine.
I think that works.
Yeah, I think it's just so weird to be like, we're going back to our roots. We're going back, we're finally going back to the set that everyone wants us to go back to. Like, we're going to put fetches in it. You're going to love it. By the way, all the iconic dragons that everyone loves. No, don't worry about it. Yeah. Interesting. Really interesting choice. I would have... And the fact that they called out to Ojutai in Aftermath. Ojutai has a card in Aftermath. So it's clear no one, it's not like they just forgot about them. Right? It's so dumb. Yeah, I would have had either an interest. It's interesting. Do you have a small prelude thing, or do you have do you just have two fucking sets for something that's this big? Interesting, super interesting. Interesting kind of accessibility thing here. Omen spells look too much like adventure spells. Yep. Players in general like the gameplay of Omens. The biggest note about them is because they looked a lot like adventures. Players wanted to play them as such. The reason Omens shuffle themselves into your library was to allow designers to make the dragon stronger, which is important in a set about dragons. This is another problem without a good solution, as we want to expand the extra spell mechanics, but there's only so much flexibility in the card frame design. Yeah, I think it's just because they made that templating so synonymous with adventures.
Yeah,
it's kind of just they're kind of a victim of their own success.
They do look exactly the same as well, which is
they're cool. Are they on here? No, not on here. Yeah, Omen's really cool because it's this thing's coming.
Yeah,
and you got to be ready to deal with it. So from a mechanical point of view, Omen's really fun and it plays really well in limited. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think that's just a case of are there things you can do around the edges, literally, to make it kind of stand out?
Yeah, it could have had an entirely different frame. I mean, it's an adventure frame, but without the fancy filigree and
the book. Yeah,
but yeah, I think they could have maybe done something to the Omen box to
try
and make it a little bit different.
I'm going to try and feign enthusiasm for the next section. Magic the Gathering, Final Fantasy.
I think you can skip the highlights because everybody knows.
Everyone knows it's good, right? Okay,
good.
Cool. Lessons. Not everything players wanted in the set got captured. Shock horror. The biggest complaint I got from fans of Final Fantasy was that it was something that they had adored from the franchise that didn't make it to a card. You can't please everyone. Some players. A corollary to this was a common complaint that the sets weren't even in their distribution of the 16 games. Some players felt that the 4 games that got Commander decks should have had fewer cards in the main set.
No.
Yeah, no, because like the 4 ones that got Commander decks were kind of the Final Fantasy games, right? 7, 14,
6
to 6, not 16. 10. Oh, yeah, 10. Yeah. No. Jog on. I mean, I would argue maybe 8 or 9 should have got a Commander deck.
Yeah.
Maybe 8, more so.
I think 9.
Or 9, yeah. The creative was less cohesive than other Universes Beyond sets. The biggest note I got from players who were unfamiliar with the Final Fantasy franchise was that the creative design of the set felt less cohesive than other Universes Beyond sets. This was due to the fact that most Universes Beyond sets are presented in a single setting, where Final Fantasy was representing 16 distinct worlds. I did get a lot of compliments. That card said, what game they were from. Oh yeah, that's really good. They should have done. They should do that on anything where like Doctor Who or anything where they're pulling from multiple kind of instances, sequels or anything like that. 100%.
I don't think this is at all relevant. This is people who don't play Final Fantasy.
It's not for them.
Exactly. Yeah. If you don't know what it's from, you probably, and if you're angry at the lack of cohesion, then you don't understand that these are all separate games, separate worlds.
Yeah.
That's whatever.
Bonus sheet.
Yeah, 100%, 120%.
The bonus sheet had some layout issues. Players generally liked the bonus sheet as it related to card selection, card availability, and its impact on limited formats, but some had issues with how it was laid out. It was hard to tell what colors many cards were, and the print was often difficult to read. Yeah, because you just didn't template it properly.
Yeah.
Right. Even I knew that.
Like, who checked them, really?
The two egregious things here were the fucking like concept art, key art stuff, just like slapped on a frame. I hate that shit. Never do that. It's so late unless it is key art or concept art or whatever you want to call it, like characters, like
like a finished piece, not like a reference sheet, which a lot of them were.
Yeah, like reference sheets were was like fake cute. Unless it is like key art that is like so applauded as like great design. The one that always comes to mind is the D&D Red Dragon art, right? Mm-hmm. You could put that on anything. I'd be like, well done.
I would take like a sketch. I would take, as long as it's like a full piece and not just like floating in like the loading room from the Matrix, like most of them were. Like,
I think
it's the Zidane one that I got that really pisses me off. I hate it. I love that art. I love Final Fantasy 9, but he's just like there, like
the laziness. I think is the biggest thing, right? Especially for a set that was so expensive and so hard to come by, and a set that like otherwise was really well handled. I think some of the bonus sheet stuff was just like, this is all meant to be your chase. Yeah. So like,
The other big problem was the adherence to, or the strict adherence to the like the frames that we currently have in Magic. Like not just huge gaps where there needn't be. They could have pushed text down to let you see the full picture. There was like the type box was like over really important parts of certain images, or like just in weird places that made it really hard to read. And they could have just bumped it down a little bit, messed with the contrast, like the brightness in the bottom to make it a bit more readable, something like that. Just. Yeah.
And there are ongoing complaints about Universes Beyond sets, as this is only randomized Universes Beyond product. As this is the only randomized Universes Beyond product I'm talking about today. I sadly didn't have space to discuss Magic the Gathering Assassin's Creed. Convenient. I'm using this section to go over much of the feedback about Universes Beyond in general. Right, this is
the juice.
There are still players that don't like that we are doing Universes Beyond, although that sentiment continually shrinks over time. For example, Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy is already the best-selling Magic set of all time, and it's just come out. Some players don't mind Universes Beyond sets in general, but they feel they feel at home in Magic's fantasy setting. Some players are unhappy that we're including Universes Beyond sets in standard. Some are unhappy that Universes Beyond booster packs cost more on average than Magic multiverse booster packs.
There should be another paragraph here. Where did the rest of this?
I think this has been PR to shit.
Yeah.
I think someone went, you can't write that. Take that out. Because it just doesn't, it just says like, people are upset.
It's like he's had a bag pulled over his head and he's been snatched into a van passing by. It's just like the pen is trailing off the page. Like,
yeah. Will Smith has jumped out of a car and like Men in Black erased his mind. Like, it's like, it just ends. You're right. It just feels like it's been snatched.
He's acknowledging problems and then turning around and walking out the room. Like,
it's so weird, dude.
It's the Sun players as well. It's those Sun players.
I love Sun players.
These Sun players.
Some players don't mind this. Some players don't mind that. Yeah, I think like even picking up with that trope last year of just the some players don't like this. Some players don't like that. And it's like, well, you're the design people. You need to like pick a path and defend it and be like, we either did this right or we did it wrong. Trying to everyone this is how you come out of the worst product ultimately. Right, having a clear creative vision, direction, and being like, this is the thing we're making, I think is ultimately better for the health of the game as a whole. I think the Universe Beyond stuff, like, it's one of these things where you can't get away from it now, and if you don't want to partake in it, you don't have to. Like, it's hard. All right. It's hard if you want to play standard. I get that. Like, they've made it so if you want to play standard long term, you're going to have to care about Final Fantasy for 2 years. You're going to have to care about Spider-Man for 2 years. And that makes it difficult. And I get that. But I think that's just like, there's a business reason why they want these cards in standard, right?
Yep.
Is it right? Probably not. I'm under the belief that Universes Beyond should be casual commander, extended, like, or not extended, like Eternal. I think is fine, right? Like formats that you're already kind of being priced out of. I don't think it being standard is great, but like. From a marketing point of view, I understand why they do it, because they want to be able to go to a license holder and say, "Hey, this card won a Pro Tour," and it's like got a guy with it's got a nerd holding a trophy badly and his copy of Vivi in the other hand, like. Did I ever tell you about my Tumblr blog that I wanted to do, which was like esports players holding trophies poorly? Yeah. I just wanted to do an entire Tumblr blog of just like esports players who can't have a trophy. Yeah, I think like it's the state of things. I think you can get on a soapbox and say, I'm not going to do this, or not engage with it. Take a break. If you feel like I'm done, take a break. It's healthy. But yeah. That was weird. I feel like last year's one was a lot more less candid. Last year was like very like some people hate this, some people like this a lot more. But this one, I feel like you can tell that Mark wants to get into some shit, wants to get some stuff off his chest.
Yeah,
and then some PR person's like, you can't write that, Mark. And you're right. You can tell exactly where they've been like, pull that back.
There's another paragraph to this. There's a second paragraph.
I think there's multiple paragraphs where he's just like, fuck you all. Like, for sure. So yeah, that's Magic State of Design 2025. Fun one. I like doing these. These are fun.
Yeah, it's good to look back.
I enjoyed doing it last year, enjoyed doing it this year. So excuse us for running long, although we've had some breaks and stuff. But hey, it's fine. You don't get these all the time. Moving over to the Sicko Zone Hall of Fame.
Here we go.
I need
it's
to
you.
do.
I panicked. I thought it was me. Whew.
No, it's me. So I need to do stuff like not dox myself.
Yes. Come on. You're getting better at this.
Fun fact, for some reason, whenever I wanted to automatically sign into the podcast, it signs into my personal Gmail. And then whenever I want to sign into my personal Gmail, it signs into the podcast. So guess who emailed the electrician asking about fix a faulty light switch from the podcast account? Yep, that'd be me. So if you have got an email from an electrician, I did that, sorry. Literally, I did it. I was like, done it. I said to say so, I've done it. And she went, you've emailed it from Magic Castles pod at gmail.com. And I was like, oh, whoops. That's great. Right.
That's free promotion.
Yeah, I hope our electrician likes and subscribes like you should before we move over to
nice
this. Segue. Nice segue. I'm cheating. I just want to caveat. I'm submitting denied from Unglued. I saw this and I was like, wait, one, how have we not talked about this yet? And two, has it in here? So denied is from Unglued. It's 1 blue mana for an instant. Choose a card name, then target spell controller reveals their hand. If a card with the chosen name is revealed this way, counter that spell. Which is like actually... This could be played. This is an Unglued. This is like a fire effect.
I actually pulled this from the pack of Unglued I bought as a child. I don't know where it is.
Nice.
I've got it somewhere.
Nice. And the art looks like a wizard covered in semen.
I don't know how you were going to go with it.
Yeah, it's the art. It's the art. What else is it meant to be?
It's frozen. It's ice.
Because the flavor text says, don't worry about it. It happens to every mage sooner or later. Like, this is meant to be jizz, right?
Is it?
You think it's meant to be ice?
Yeah. Is it? Oh, God. Now you got me.
I thought it was meant to be like...
Don't zoom in. Ectoplasm.
Yeah, that's what my initial thought was. They're basically using that as a semen.
It's not ice. You're right. I've been looking at this, well, not since I was a kid, but when I was a kid, I looked at it and I thought it was ice. I thought he was frozen.
I thought it was meant to be like ectoplasm, like the essence of a spell blown up in his face. That's what I thought.
That's what it is.
But it's white. And the worst bit is, it's in the text box.
It's all over the text box.
It's all over the text box.
Oh, no.
It's rancid.
It's very fitting with Spider-Man coming next. You know?
Hey, yeah, there you go. Yeah, so let's talk placement. Get professional emails like your company. Fuck off. Just
ruining my childhood here.
Where was the last Amnesia Nut?
Oh, okay, the last picture.
That was submitted by Woody.
Yeah.
That's number 5. Now,
the art in that is fucked as well.
And I will say this has the Unglued. This has an uncard clause, which is it can't naturally be higher than on par, in universes within Magic card, legal constructed playable. So I think it's quite low. Kerry did submit.
Oh yeah, the
Harloon apple bottom jeans, and that was 33. I think. Without, tooting my own horn, Wizards Covered in Cum is probably higher than Harloon Wrangler. Sorry.
Yeah. Is it higher than Giant Strength, though? That's the question.
It's higher than Giant Strength. Is it higher than Giant Strength?
Look at his face. How can you say that? Can you say anything to that face? The William Shakespeare. Giant Strength's got the fucked art and the William Shakespeare quote, which I think is like...
I think Giant Strength might be too low.
Yeah, agreed. I love Giant Strength.
I think it is...
It's not weirder than Charizard.
No. I think it is... what? It's probably between Soul Echo and Giant Strength.
Yeah, I think so. But Giant Strength does need to go up.
Yeah.
Nice.
Denied.
Don't. Oh my God, he's doing it.
Covered.
Just to be really explicit.
Yeah, like, by the way, why did we put that there? Oh, it's because of that.
We'll know now. No guessing. We're not.
Can you put emojis in these?
Oh, please don't. Are you going to... Can you?
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to get worse than that. Oh, it is. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Jesus. Specifically increasing the width of column A for this.
Yeah. Got to fit the bit in. Okay, cool.
Denied.
So denied. Come Covered Wizard is number 29. This is getting long. 44 current cards in here, which is good to see.
Very good.
We will eventually sort out this ordering. Cool. Did you know?
Are we doing this now? Are we going to talk about what we've been up to? Now we do housekeeping, right?
Yeah, we could do housekeeping. Housekeeping. Yeah, because we've done the topic first. It's fucking weird. Sicko Zone, now we do housekeeping. So did you know only 35% of you are subscribed? That makes me sad. Please like and subscribe. It really helps us up. It's free. You can change your mind anytime. It also tells YouTube that you like what we do. So please do that. Oh, I forgot the shop name.
I'll talk about what we've been doing while you're doing that. So we were on the Gathering for Good stream last week. Was it last week? Was it this week?
It was this week.
It was last week. Yeah.
Was it last week?
Yeah, it was last week. It was last Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, that was pretty good. It was us, Mia, and Specs. Yeah, that was good fun. It went longer than I thought it was going to, but it was good.
I was ready. I was like about half an hour, 45 minutes in. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, I think I see where this is going. I'll start looking at my decks for like, what do I want to play game 2?
Yeah.
It was one of those games. So I was like, okay, I think this is probably going to be an hour. And it was like a 3-hour slot.
I had something in my hand.
Didn't fucking end.
Yeah, I think there was a time where I was going to win and then I got enough removed that I couldn't. And I was the same. I was like, oh, we're going to get a second game in here. And then.
Yeah, it was fun. It was good to play. I played Mothman. You played...
I played Discord, random card deck.
That was really fun. That was a lot of fun, actually.
I do like that deck.
Specs played Room Lady.
It was but mini games.
But it's like it's what my Rocco deck was. It was just like, what are the weird cards that make the game interesting? Got 5 color. And then Mia played the 10th Doctor Precon. That deck.
Yeah, it's wild. It's a wild one.
I think that might 10th with Rose might be player removal.
Oh god, yeah, Rose gets wild.
Yeah, like I took a beating, so I think like if people bring that to the pod going forward, why are you hitting me? Because you're playing Rose Tyler, and that card's insane.
Especially with enough unblockable, because it's got psychic paper in there and there's other ways to make her unblockable. Yeah, it's just
and it got to the point where like that deck's too complicated for not a new player, like anyone who is, if that is not your pet deck that you play on like a regular basis, that deck's just insane. There's too much going on.
You have to goldfish it a lot to know.
Yeah, you have to understand what everything does, how it all interacts with each other, how your sack is like laying out. To the point where like I think Mia had like 10th, Rose 9th, and then like some other stuff out. Paradox Haze, some other nonsense. Her turn started halfway, about 5 minutes into her turn. I was like, I'm going to go get dinner.
Yeah.
And I finished eating dinner before it got back to my turn. Like her turn hadn't even finished because it's just, and I was like, oh, you're doing this? She's like, I'm still in my upkeep. I'm like, oh, okay. Like I'm still doing this. And I think it just, the level of complexity in that deck is just insane. Like,
it is.
It's so off-putting to me. Like I'm literally, I would never want to play this. It's just like, it's not what I want to do anyway. So, Before we get into the next thing, kingmaker-shop.44.com is where you can buy all your Kingmaker and the Magic Castles related merch. More coming soon. We've got some stuff in the pipeline.
Yes.
So hopefully we'll have stuff maybe before Command Fest? Question mark.
I think, when is Command Fest?
It's like a month.
Yeah, we'll have new stuff by then.
Yeah, so we'll have new stuff up by Command Fest as well.
And
maybe some
tokens for Command Fest.
And then tokens for Command Fest as well.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I've not done much. I took a bunch of decks apart. I'm doing admin at the moment. So at the end of that game, I was like sorting out my piles.
Yeah, I know.
And I literally, because I got knocked out early-ish. And I was like, I didn't want to leave because it was like, if it was just us playing off stream, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to go. Like, this is going to fucking take forever. And I don't need to be here. And I literally had like, I'm not joking, probably a bundle box long of just like secret lair stuff that I was like, I need to file this away. So yeah, I was just doing that. But yeah, I've not really done too much.
Yeah,
I finished Heavy, building Heavy.
Nice.
I'm going to goldfish that. And then I might bring that to the next record.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be on episode 7.
7, yeah.
Yeah. That looks fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's nothing. I'm just holding up for Spider-Man now, really. Like that's it. So
I finished Yaris is the deck I've been building recently. So it's the other flip commander, the Graw one from Murders. I randomly messed around with it and thought it looked cool and tried that out. And yeah, it is really good. So I think that's going to be my episode 7 deck.
Nice.
Maybe. And other than that, I've been just tweaking the Jeskai Edge Precon. It's just so cool. There's just so many weird things you can do in it.
I've heard that the Jund one is busted.
It's gross. Out of the box, it's horrific.
People are like downgrading it.
Yeah.
So like it's too busted.
Yeah. It's
and then I think Rachel Weeks posted, she downgraded it and was like, I still can't bring this to like a casual table because it's still just too good.
It is.
So that's interesting. That's interesting. I'm sure it wasn't done on purpose, but like the giving someone something too powerful and being like, here's a challenge, downgrade this, I think is an interesting experiment if that's not the intent.
The Jeskai one is pretty good, but it's one of those things where you have to get a million pieces and then you have to activate them all in the right order.
The Judd one just works. Right? Yeah. It's just because it's lands, so you're being rewarded for playing Magic the Gathering.
And it does everything to everyone. That's the other thing about the Jund deck. It's not target player, it's everyone.
Yes. Cool. Let us know how you felt the format went this week. I know we've gone long. Normally we like to be like 45 minutes, but I felt like if we split the state of design into 2 videos, 1, it'd be incomprehensible, and 2, it'd be like 4 weeks since the article we've posted by the time you hear the second part. Yeah. So that's why we've gone long. We're
something else would have happened.
Yeah, exactly. We can still normally stick to like 45 minutes, but let us know how you like the format of just getting right into the topic and then kind of back ending all the housekeeping and stuff as well. So let us know below or comment on Spotify if you'd be there. Cool. This has been episode 36 of the Magic Castles podcast. We'll catch you next time. Bye.